Hey everyone. It's one thing when you're growing up and everything around you that's going on in the nation is just kind of a blur. I mean, I look back at my childhood and I can't even figure out, you know, what was really going on that was good or bad. I mean, there was so much in our history that, it didn't even matter. And I'm sitting here today in 2020 and I know for a fact that my three boys aren't going to have that same, they're not going to have that same issue. I mean, they're going to be sitting back, when they're 35, 40 years old, and they're going to look at it and tell their kids, gosh, you guys, you have no idea what happened between 2010 and 2025. You have no idea. The world has changed so much. I mean, I can't even let them play outside in the front yard without, having an eye on them, without looking out there. I mean, I used to not come home until it was dark. I was told not to, just like you were. I couldn't think of anything better than to, live in a place where my kids could just take their bike and ride. Instead, they're sitting back and doing everything that we were taught when we were little not to do. They're getting on their computers. They're, having the screen time. They're playing their games. Because I can't let them go out in the front yard and ride their bike. They can't ride the bike in the backyard because there's grass back there. What kind of nation are we letting this become? When are we going to stand up and say that's enough? I know that we all talk about it. We all think about it inside of our homes. We may talk about it with our spouses. We may think that, we're thinking the same thing as everyone else. But if we're not saying it, we're not doing it out loud, there's no way this message gets across. There's no way that the next person wakes up. There's no way that this movement does anything for us in November. Trump can't do it alone. He's a complete badass in my book. He stands up against tyranny. He is the most calculated 5D chess person in the world. And he is fighting for this country, but he can't do it alone. It starts on the local level. I don't know how many of you are pissed off, but I know that I am. We have to start telling everybody. We have to tell our neighbors. We have to start reaching out, and every single person we get into discussion with that fights for the good, that stands up for the underdog, that stands up for the Constitution. We unite with them. We can't be silent anymore. We can't just sit idly and watch this go by. This is our country. This is our nation. This was the nation that God created, and somehow God's not part of it anymore. And I'm not okay with that. That Constitution was written as we the people, and we the people are pissed. Who's with me?